I've always opined on this platform that in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Everything in politics is normally planned to achieve a certain political objective. Let me ask you this simple question. Raila Oding'a today held a rally at Kamukunji Grounds. What's your honest opinion about that rally? Did the rally achieve the intended objectives? Was it a success or was it a failure? Because that rally actually marked the beginning of a series of political rallies which Raila Odinga and Azimio brigades intend to hold across the country. Was it a success? For me, I observed several things, and I want us to try and figure it out in this particular video. Before we do that, for those who are watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now, before we get into all these details, Raila Odinga today embarked on a series of political rallies. Actually, the rally in Kamukunji, then is going to have other rallies probably before the major rally, which will happen on the 12th day, which will be on Jamhuri Day. That rally on the 12th is actually intended to parallel Jamhuri Day celebrations, because Jamhuri Day is a national event. So on that particular day, William Ruto will be holding a rally, a national event, and Raila Odinga will also be holding a national conversation with his supporters. And on the screens, probably, they will split it. I'm not sure whether they'll do it this time around because the media will be under the grip of William Ruto. But what is your own opinion? Was the rally successful? Was it a failure? Did it achieve the objectives? For me, I want to try and break it down. The first thing which I observed very keenly, and I was really interested, was Azimio as a coalition. And I wanted to see the principals who are going to make an appearance. Of course, Martha Karua was there, and she was Raila Odinga's running mate in the last election. The presence of Martha Karua in that particular event, for me, was significant. Number two, there is the presence of Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. I can assure you that Kalonzo Musyoka will do everything possible to inherit Raila Odinga's support base. His presence in this particular event was a major boost, because remember, William Ruto tried to even thwart Kalonzo Musyoka's presence at this particular rally. The other day, Makwiny, former cabinet minister, was unleashed to issue a statement that Wiper was not going to attend the event. We saw Kalonzo Musyoka, and his presence there is actually significant. The main reason why Kalonzo Musyoka will continue attending some of these rallies is that he believes very strongly that by doing that, he's going to inherit Raila Odinga's support base. And I agree with him. But the presence of Kalonzo would have made more impact if he was accompanied by either a governor from Ukambani. While Kalonzo was in Kamkunji, William Ruto was in Ukambani. And I saw him with two governors, Wavinya Ndeti of Machakos, and I also saw him with the governor for Kitui, Malobe. So I don't know how things are going to turn out, but that's something which for me was significant. The other principle which was there was Wamalwa. If you look at the former cabinet secretaries who worked under Ruto, under Uhuru and Ruto government, it's only Wamalwa who is now coming out very clearly to take a political stand. Peter Munya, I'm not seeing him actively involved. So the presence of Wamalwa, in my view, in this particular meeting is significant, because he's sending a signal that he's not going to let Western Kenya down. Then the other person who was present was Oparanya. And the question which you should ask yourself, why do you think Oparanya was riding in the same vehicle with Raila Odinga and not Kalonzo Musyoka, not Martha Karua, not even the area member of parliament? Why do you think Oparanya chose, Raila chose to ride with Oparanya in the same vehicle? Why do you think Oparanya decided to attend this meeting? Because Oparanya was very clear at some point that he was going to cut links with Raila Odinga. Then he made a tactical retreat. And since then, Oparanya is not looking back. Is it possible that Raila Odinga is trying now to groom Oparanya as the face of ODM? I'm not so sure, but that's something which, for me, is also significant. So that was the first thing. Then let us look at the attendance. One of the biggest concerns for Raila Amolo Odinga and his team as they were organizing this rally was the issue of attendance. You know, there was a strong feeling that Raila Odinga supporters are tired. Number two, there was also a strong feeling that Raila Odinga needed to take a break. And again, of course, because of unemployment, the state of economy, there was a strong feeling that people were not going to attend this event. But based on what I know, the event was hugely successful. I can talk of some weaknesses from the organizers, because originally most people assumed that the rally was going to be in Kamukunji Grounds. But that was not the case. The rally was actually in Starehe, Kamukunji Grounds. So that caused a lot of confusion. But the attendance in general was good. And how is that significant, politically speaking? The attendance here means that William Ruto and his brigades should now prepare for a more lethal Raila Amolo Odinga, if at his lowest moment he can attract such kind of a crowd. This event was there were people who were not even sure about whether it was actually going to happen. It happened. So William Ruto and his brigade should be prepared, especially considering the fact that there's going to be a national event, Jamhuri Day, on the 12th, and Raila Odinga is also going to host the rally now in Kibra Grounds, the historic Kamukunji Grounds. So let us wait and see. But for me, the attendance was good for a start for Raila Amolo Odinga. But there was a gap. People were really not mobilized, and you could easily tell why people were not really mobilized. Which takes us to the third thing which I observed: members of parliament. You know, Nairobi is predominantly ODM and Jubilee. If you count the number of members of parliament who are present today, they were not many. They were not even half of the members of parliament. Then you go further and ask yourself about the Azimio coalition. Were members of parliament really involved? Is there a chance that William Ruto is trying to reach out to some of these members of parliament so as to boycott Raila Odinga's event? So that's something which should worry Raila Odinga, because the William Ruto I know is not taking anything to chance. He's going to work extra hard. So the question is, why were members of parliament not present? Most of them boycotted this event. Maybe I should I'll do another further analysis on this particular visit, especially basing my arguments on the speech, which for me was underwhelming. The speech was really underwhelming. The issues which were raised in that particular speech were just too much. Kenyan's issues right now are only three: cost of living, the GMO, and Kenya Kwanza promises. If you focus on those, but I saw so many issues they were raising. Some of them are not even necessary. The last issue which is there is the objective of the rally. Were the objectives of this particular rally achieved? And if they were achieved, what were the objectives? I know one of the objectives of this rally was to provoke Ruto. And indeed, yesterday you saw the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Professor Kithure Kindiki, coming out boldly to release a statement. You saw William Ruto changing his hardline position that you can't be threatened. From that level to now, Azimio can go ahead, and he has instructed Kithure Kindiki. So the fact that the government was alert and had to issue a statement means they achieved their objective. I know Raila Odinga really wanted to provoke Ruto with this. But again, Raila Odinga and his team were also trying so hard not to be viewed as violent people, because Kenya Kwanza was keen on trying to to paint this consultation meeting or consultative meetings as violent meeting, as mandamano, which they were never intended to be. So whether they achieve their objective or not is the first question I ask you. So before you sign off, please, do you think the rallies really achieved their objectives? Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.